Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be doing a quick recap of all the new stuff with the 2.5, or as I'm calling it, third edition of, or the AMG edition of X-Wing. They dropped a lot of information on us yesterday, and I did a big live stream kind of looking at it. So if you didn't want to watch this hour-long live stream, I thought I'd do it as a shorter video summarizing the changes. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away a lightsaber. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that, and that's running. You have about another week or so left to enter to win that, so plenty of time left. Make sure you click that subscribe button, click the links in the description below. Hop on over to Luxury Playstyle, check them out. They're sponsoring today's video as well, so big thanks to Luxury Playstyle. They have amazing tokens, so check those out. Use code Crabbok VIP. You're going to save 15%. And if you spend $35 or more, you're going to get a free Crabbok token with the lightsaber nunchucks on there. It's a super cool token. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into these changes. So on Atomic Mass Games website, they did have a X-Wing documents section, and so these are all actually on their website now. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check all of those out. And I'm going to just run through this matter of fact and kind of keep opinions out of it for right now, because I think I had some opinions in the live stream yesterday. So first big thing that's a huge change is the 20-point squad limit. Now, instead of building a 200-point list, you're going to build a 20-point list. Now, ships have pretty much gone down by about, a tenth of what they were. They're down to about a tenth of that point. So ships might cost 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 11 points. Like Darth Vader and the TIE Defender is 11 points now. But most ships are between like 3 and 6, somewhere in that department. There's some that are a little bit more expensive. Some of the big ships are up to like 9 and 10 and things like that. You're going to build a 20-point list, and you only count the cost of your ships. And this is part of the new rules reference document. They've done a lot of changes to the upgrades bar, so there's going to be a lot of new upgrades available to different types of ships. You also have a loadout value, and the loadout value is basically free points for each ship that you can just put whatever upgrades you want that fit in the upgrade bar up to that point cost. Now, the upgrade points are pretty much the same as they used to be. So, so you can basically take a 5-point ship, and then you get 9 points of upgrades that are available to that. Now, some of them are a lot more. Here's you got a 5-point ship that's got 19 points of upgrades available. So you have a lot of different things that you can do, and that's kind of how list building is going to be. Also, they still have in the new points document, they still have whether it's going to be legal in standard or extended. Standard is kind of like the new hyperspace format. It's basically functions, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can tell, it has about the same functionality, where it's really only showing stuff that is available in that 2.0 format. That's one of the big things that they were going to be doing. And since the loadout value does not count towards your ship point total, there's no reason not to use as many points as you can from the loadout value. In most cases, you should try to maximize that, although it may not always work out, because again, there's a whole, in addition to the ship points document, there's also an upgrade points document that has all the upgrades. You don't have to worry about like 20 or 30 different PDFs now. It's just one PDF for all ships, one PDF for all of the upgrades. So they're all in there, and there's no reason not to use as much of the full loadout value as you can. Another interesting thing is the only card that's banned and extended right now is the 7B configuration for the Delta 7s, and these showed up in the reason it's banned is because it's not like broken or overpowered, but it is banned because they, instead of having that as a config, they decided to make separate ship cards for the Delta 7 versus this Delta 7B. So now, instead of you just equipping this configuration that raises your primary attack and gives you 2 more shields but reduces your agility, now it's just a whole separate card, and those are print and play. There's a lot of print and play stuff in this documentations. So the Errata document is going to have this. So if you go to the Errata and you're going to see all of these things, note that this is not the only Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Delta 7. This is just the Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Delta 7B. And I think the reason for that is that the Delta 7B wasn't just a normal upgrade because it changed the ship so fundamentally. They wanted that to actually cost squad points. So that's why they banned it as an upgrade card and just incorporated it into being a separate ship card, just so they could get the points costing right on it. Speaking of points cost, there is no huge ship point costs in this new document, so that has left a lot of people wondering what's going to happen with huge ships. There is a little disclaimer at the end of the updated rules reference guide that huge ship stuff will probably be coming soon. So I think we'll just have to wait, but that's something I would like for AMG to answer on a stream. It's like, hey, did you guys forget about huge ships? Is that just in the works? And I guess for right now, my guess would be that we would just kind of take everything down to 1/10 the cost and kind of play it that way, and just try to do the best you can if you still want to use them for right now with this new rule set. Now this all goes live on March 1st, so they still have some time. Also, there is no list builder right now, right? They got rid of the list builder. This was one of the things they told us a while back. So there's no official squad builder app anymore from Fantasy Flight or from Asmodee or from AMG. But all of the community list builders is what we have been using. The problem is those are going to take a while to get caught up because this is a very, very different system. Not only is every single ship in the game completely revamped in its point costs, but now you also don't have to keep in you don't have to take into account the amount of points that go into the upgrades, because those are all in a separate kind of variable state. So there's a whole lot of coding and a whole lot of programming, and I have a very small, but I have a little bit of programming background, just to know that this represents a fundamental change to how list building code and software would work. So if you used any particular squad builder app, really consider now more so than ever donating to those people, because those people are going to be doing a lot of work over the next couple of days and weeks even to make this fine-tuned and to get this working, because you're going to really need list building software. I think they've made list building more complicated if you're doing it on paper, and so because you have to keep track of each individual ship's number of, because not all Delta 7s will have the same amount of upgrade points that they can take, and so it's going to be way more complicated for it to work. So definitely consider supporting your list builders. There's also a lot of print and play stuff with the scenario mechanics. So there's a whole scenario guide. It has the 4 scenarios, and those are pretty much what we expected already based on what they've talked about. Like getting the satellites, getting the cargo, securing this objective, dogfighting in the middle of the board, and things like that. Notice there's a 1.5 range tool. This is all print and play. I imagine a lot of this stuff will come out in cardboard at some point, but they haven't hinted to that just yet. But there is now print and play range 1.5. Now, from what we've seen so far, this 1.5 range tool is really just used to help you find the center of the board. But since it is now like an official, like a 1.5 thing, it could get used again in the future. So, definitely check that out. And if it does become official, you'll probably want to get a cardboard version of it at some point, because if everybody's printing out their own things, sometimes there's slight variations, and not everybody prints with the same settings or has the same type of printer. So and then these other tokens are just victory points, and then the round tracker is for certain scenarios will have a timer, and that's one of the new changes also with the 3.0. There's a ban list now, and the ban list is not that long, but it's a little bit long. This is about everything on the ban list, and some things are on here twice, like the Delta 7, like one of the Delta 7 pilots is there, but they banned both versions of it, which I thought was interesting because there was not even a second version of that card. So they created a second version only to then immediately ban it, which was kind of funny. But I mean, it's just, you can still use it if you want. Like, nothing on here is banned and extended except for that Delta 7B specific card, but you have new versions of all those pilots to run anyway, so it's not banned for being broken, just banned because they've done it a different way. And so if they didn't ban it, then you could take the new Delta 7B and somebody might try to equip a Delta 7B config to it, even though the Delta 7B doesn't have the config slot anymore. So basically you can still use whatever you want from here, but this is for standard play. You're not going to be able to run any of these cards in standard play. Now, an interesting thing, I want to go back and point out that while the ship points document will say whether or not something is legal in standard play, when you find something that's banned, instead of saying no, it will say banned instead. Now, this might be confusing to some people. The reason I believe The distinction between the no or banned is if it says no, that just from what it looks like right now, the no just means it's not yet available in the black box 2.0 kind of the new packaging. So basically, no just means this is out of print, so it's not legal in standard, right? Like they haven't remade it into the 2.0. So a lot of your legacy stuff that you probably only have from a conversion kit. So this kind of devalues the conversion kits a little bit. So the stuff that's only available through the 1.0 and then into the conversion kit stuff is currently not legal for standard, but presumably will become legal once that shows up. However, fast forward to the ban list, here's stuff that is available now in 2.0 that they're still saying not legal for standard. So I think that's the only real difference between whether it says banned or no. No is just like not for now, but maybe soon, like whenever it comes back in. That's kind of how the ban list seems to be working. There are some interesting ones that showed up on the ban list, though, like Han Solo for the Resistance is banned. Hera is the only pilot that's not allowed to fly the Ghost, so that's very strange. They did not, however, ban Luke Skywalker Gunner like they had said. Instead, Luke Skywalker got an errata, so there's a little bit of a cost to use him now. You have to get some, but you can check all of that out when you get down to it. So speaking of also errata, one of the other big changes to this 2.5 or 3.0, basically, it feels more like a 3.0 because there's so many more changes than they initially told us about. But they did talk about the range 0 attacks, so now you can bump. And that you can it doesn't penalize you nearly as bad if you bump. You can still shoot when at range 0, and if you bump an enemy, you can still take a focus or a calculate, but you can't you can't modify your dice when you're attacking. So the range 0 attacks are like the worst attack ever. So the defender can modify their dice, but you can't, right? So. But Arvel Krind and Captain Oikon are two of them, and there's more. Just about everybody that had some kind of range 0 boost kind of got the same thing, as basically that says if you're performing an attack at range 0, you can treat it as range 1. And so that's pretty cool, and so Arvel Krind is going to potentially see a little more use now. I mean there's nothing wrong with him before. I like the whole being able to boost into people and get that attack going on at range 1, so you actually get your bonus die and you can modify it. So that's cool. But at the same time, it's not, maybe it's a little bit less cool because now everybody can also make the range 0 attack. It's just much worse for people that didn't previously have a range 0 kind of benefit. So that's pretty much it. I think that's kind of it for like all of the new stuff. In addition to a lot of that, the stuff that we've kind of talked about already. There is a lot more in the rules references, a lot of smaller distinctions. A lot of the new stuff is laid out. They outline the road, the after dials, random orders after dials, and that's a whole system. We've talked about that quite a bit. So now basically whoever's going to be first player, you're going to roll for. It's going to be randomized each turn, and you won't know who's going to be the first player or who's going to have initiative until after you've set your dials. So it becomes a lot more of a guessing game. And of course, all of the dial peaking stuff is gone. Obstacles have changed significantly. They all do more damage now. They all prevent you. There's no like easy obstacles anymore. All that stuff is outlined in the rules reference. Again, that is now available on Atomic Mass Games website. And that's kind of it. Now, this is, in closing, because I think that's most of the new changes. Again, I'll put a link so you can check those out. I feel like this might not be the end. A lot of the talk and the build-up about all of this seems to suggest that they want to make this all a lot easier for new players. I do expect there will be another core set at some point because the rules that are in the current core set would definitely confuse new players, especially once they try to play, and this is now the norm. It would feel like a whole new edition. But I do feel like with all of the changes to list building, it seems like they're going in a direction for quick builds to become the standard format of play. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we're going to see more quick builds from AMG? Do you think that's going to become like the standard, like the main and the primary supported way to play, or an optional way to play, or basically any kind of way? Because quick builds already exist, but they're kind of problematic. right? And they might actually, a lot of the existing quick builds could actually be in conflict with the current rules. You know, they've always have been able to break the rules anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if AMG comes out with a new kind of set of quick builds where there's a quick build for every pilot in the game. And you know, and they've kind of done a little bit of that already with like, here's how many upgrade points this person can use. You know, it's different based on each pilot and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with quick builds that are designed to work a little bit better with the scenarios, and that becomes like the standard way of playing. And it'd be an option because you would still be allowed to build your own lists as well. That's my prediction, but we're going to see if that ends up happening. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Also, join our Discord. We still have a giveaway for some promos that are going on in there right now, too. It's a very family-friendly Discord, and if you want to talk about some of the new changes, I did make a X-Wing 3.0 channel. It's I know they're still calling it 2.5, but to me, this really does feel like a third edition. Because it's a whole new edition, especially with all the print and play components. You'd have to print and play so much stuff, you know. So it really is. I think there's going to be new components, especially with the 2.0 conversion kits not being legal and standard for almost everything that's, you know, that was 1.0 to kind of import in here. A lot of those older stuff, it just feels like this is a whole new edition. But I did say I was going to try and keep opinion out of it, so let me end it here. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you guys later, and always, may the Force be with you.